Well, hi, my name is Peter Daniels, and a few weeks ago I had the opportunity of doing a presentation for the Full Gospel Group, and we did that. Many people said that they enjoyed it, but there was only one problem: we didn't actually video it. And so what I thought I'd do today is capture as much of that as I possibly can and put this up for you to enjoy. And as business people, I think this may be something that could help you quite a lot. And what I want to start with is, I think there are several areas to our lives. I think maybe if I can point it out this way, there's two main areas that I want to focus on today. The first is your personal life. Personal life is important, and we can divide that up into several areas. So let's do that. First area is your family. That's really important. You and I know about that, and that's for some people the reason why they have a business. Then there's your friends and your finances. I'm not suggesting for a minute that money will make you happy or anything like that, but we do need a certain amount of that. And also in here, family, friends, finances. Your fitness is important, and gee, aren't we finding out about wellness and what we actually need during this COVID period? Why? Because we're all being asked to actually cope with more. So that's your personal life. But all of us have a business, and as you can probably imagine, a business is a little bit more complicated. And so what I want to do is draw it like this. There's many aspects to it, but probably the 6 really core ones are these. And I'm going to rub that out there because we'll do something with that in a minute. There's the products and services that you offer. They're in there. As a Christian, as a businessman, I'm hoping it's more than just a product. I'm hoping that as you administer your work and your business, that you are part of the product and that you are part of the service. So that's a variable in your business. Your processes are really important. Some processes in business are user-friendly, some are not user-friendly. I don't know whether you've gone and bought something and found out to your dismay after you had an issue with it that you checked, and you found out that some of the processes that organisation had were not user-friendly. They try to actually get out of looking after you because of their process. But what we're talking about here is having really, really good processes in the business. Then there's post-sale. Gee, that's important. That's very important. What do you actually do post-sale to actually help your clients and customers? Post-sale allows you to engage with them again. Can I just press the pause button just for a little bit here in my discussion, in that I think we really need to define who we're talking to. Are we talking to customers or are we building clients? Because if we're building clients, there's something different here. And I'm just going to put that up here, customer versus client, and we'll come back to that a little bit later on because I think that's important. It's how you promote your business, how you're getting the word out in your business, how's it being promoted, and what methods are you using? Does everybody fully understand all of what you do? I'll say that again. Does every one of your clients fully understand all of what you do? Because if they don't fully understand all of what you can do for them, that can be another angle to help in business and growing it and developing it. So we've got products and services, processes, post-sale, promotion, how you pitch. What is your pitch in the marketplace? Where are you pitching it? Are you the cheapest? Are you the most expensive? And then I'm going to put something else in here. It's another P, but there's another word in front of it. A value proposition. What is your value proposition? want to rest on that for a little while because at the moment all of us need to have a really good value proposition to be able to get ahead. If people cannot see value in what you do, there's only two variables left. And you know what those two variables are? Price and terms. So if you can't see today what value proposition you're offering in the marketplace, that might be a really good place to start, how you can increase that. And I like the notion that we promise a lot and we deliver more. I really like that. You know, we go to the market with this, but we have something else that we can give them afterwards. And gee, I think that's a refreshing experience. So if these are some of the variables, they're probably the key ones. There's probably about 4 others that I explore when I work with people. But if these are the variables here, and these are the things that we want to achieve here, we've got our personal life and we've got our work life here. If we're not careful, that's how it can actually sit, but I don't think it was ever designed that way. Might I make a suggestion? Let's turn this into a vehicle that can move you ahead. Now, all of a sudden, there is a relationship between your business and your personal goals. And so what I want to do here is just to invest a little bit of time exploring this with you, because I think this will help. What does a front wheel of a bike actually give you? Well, I think it gives you direction. It gives you a direction on where you can go. That's important. What does a back wheel of a bike give you? Well, depending on how fast you pedal, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how fast you pedal, it gives you power. I'd like you to watch this because I think this will help you. The front wheel of a bike gives you direction, so do your personal goals. So do your personal goals. If you've got really clear personal goals, you've got direction in your life. You know why you're doing what you're doing. And those personal goals, please hear this bit, should actually dictate how you run your business. One of the things I see is a whole lot of people in business working really, really hard, and what's left over is their family. And I can look you in the eye nicely because I've been in business for long enough. I've been doing this type of business, working with different businesses for 32 years. So I get into conversations with people, all sorts of people, fascinating conversations. And I realise that the two areas that suffer because of a poorly organised business are your family and your fitness. These two here, they suffer. They're the first two things to actually go. That's why we need to have some really clear goals. And in working with people, what I do is get this clear, and then we know what we need to do in the business area. It's fascinating that I find a lot of other business coaches around the place start with the business. That's supposed to be the servant, not the master. This is supposed to dictate what happens there. And so we've got that. I think there are 4 types of people. There are those who've got personal goals and direction, and in their work life, they've optimally developed all of these areas, which means that they've now got the power to get it. So they've got the direction, where they want to go, and they've got the power to get it. I think we call those people happy. Why wouldn't you be? Yeah, it's happening for you. It's a business. It's working. You're working on the business rather than in it all the time. You have some spare time. You can explore other goals around here. Now, about this time, working with people, there's a question, gee, was this a bit businessy, Pete? Yeah, it is, but there's a couple of other things I want you to see. Your faith is in here. It's at the hub. It's what you do. It's how you do it. It brings a different refreshment to everything that you do. And so if we look at the 4 types of people, and I'm suggesting that you're different, but there are people in business that are like this. There are those that are clear in direction and got power. They're happy. They got the power to get it. Then there are those who have direction in their life but haven't quite developed their business well. So they have to improve in these areas. I reckon we call those people frustrated. Can I say that again? Frustrated. They can actually see what they want to do. It's there, but they're not getting there. Then there are those who don't know where they're going, but gee, they work really hard. I think we call those workaholics. They're committed to the work. They're sort of married to the work. And then we've got those who don't know where they're going, haven't got the power to get it anyhow. What do we call those? Careful. I'm going to express it this way. They're hopeless. I'm not saying they are hopeless. I'm saying they're living a life without hope. Shh. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Is to living it with hope? And apart from these 4, I would suggest that this is a happy hope. It's not hopeless, it's hope-filled. Why? Because we have a personal relationship with the Lord. So let me have a look at this from where we're going. So if I take this out for a minute, if I take that out for a minute, you'll be able to remember what we're talking about. We have a vehicle here, and that is a road. That's a nice bitumen, smooth road going somewhere. That's even keel in an economy. But you and I know that maybe things change. In the past, there have been some industry groups that have been on that road. Now, I don't wish to communicate that they are going downhill and economically. What I am trying to communicate is that some industry groups, and I'm thinking maybe some parts of construction, have had it relatively easy. They've had coping problems rather than problems finding business. And so all they have to do, if the terrain's like that, you just hang on and enjoy the ride. But I think things have changed. I think they've changed, might I say it, to a new normal. Right now, there are some businesses that are able to function really, really well, and they've got an elevated amount of business because of COVID. But I think there's a lot of businesses facing that. What do we do about it? Well, that's where this comes in. This is your gearing. And in this illustration, I call it your attitudes and habits. It's what you do day in, day out. It's how you keep moving forward. We're all familiar with what a habit is. I have lace-up shoes on today, so we all know what that's about. And you see someone developing that, a little child, and it's impossible for them to develop that habit without using their tongue. You've seen it, I've seen it. It's hard for them to do. But once they do it often enough, then it becomes stored in their brain. An attitude is the way we habitually think. And I say it respectfully, I think that should be directed from this area of our lives, from our faith and our beliefs. And, you know, no matter what business we're in a marketplace, we're working with other people. That's not necessarily the end game. It's engaging with people. It's a refreshing experience. It's getting to know them. It's caring more about than about a sale. It's about caring for them. Can I just float an idea? I think as Christians, our businesses should be a refreshing experience, and we should be able to engage with people totally differently. So, if even in this economy, even with what we're facing, we've got this, how do we handle it? Well, some would say we pedal harder. I would suggest that the habits and attitudes that we adopt, and some of us might need to adopt some new ones, let go of some of these things, tighten this up, allows us, with repetition, to move forward. It's a bit dark at the moment as to what the future actually holds. Pardon me. It's a bit dark. We don't know where we're going. That's why we need this. We need a lamp here, and that will illuminate where we're actually going. Can you remember that? Lamp under my feet, light under my path. I think that's for remembrance for you. That's what will guide us as to where to go. It's our faith, it's our connection. A couple other things I want to show you that are really important. There's three here, three angles. It's a triangle. It's the greatest shape that we've discovered for construction. I think there are three things in here that are important. One is commitment. It takes a certain amount of commitment to clarify this and to improve that. It takes a certain amount of courage to actually say no to some things that you're being asked to do in your business, to compete. That's a bit of an issue. And what it does is it reflects your character of who you are and what you do. There are some pieces of business I don't want. There's some pieces of business you don't want. And it takes courage to say no to that, particularly in this economy. There are short change opportunities. There are opportunities to cut a corner here and there. But I think with this, it makes a lot of difference to where you're going and what you're doing. And if I might, I just want to visit this for a little minute. What's the difference between a customer and a client? A customer is transactional. A client is relational. Customer may buy on price. A client may buy on competence. Customer may buy once. A client will buy it multiple times. And so because of that multiple times, there's more value in a client than there is in a customer. And the word client comes from a Latin verb, clien, which denotes the custodian oversight of one person over another for their benefit. I'll say that again. The custodian oversight of one person over another for their benefit. I think as Christians, that's what we're supposed to do, is we look a little further than the sale or the product or the service. It impacts the people. That's another P that you can put in here if you want to. The people. It's the people who we interact with. It's the people who work with us. It's how we handle that. And so this little example here is actually part of a 3-hour session that I run because there's a whole lot of extra information on here. But in working with different individuals and businesses, I've had the opportunity over the years in my life's journey to sit down and talk to people not only about this, but this, and also this. And so I've had people who've come to know the Lord through working with them on their goals. And it's not about preaching, but I think it is about actually giving and answers the hope that is within us. And I think the world at the moment needs a whole lot of things, but I think one of the things they need most is hope. And that can come, I think, by how you conduct your business. This may be a vehicle. It may also be a mission. It's a mission. And we've been given permission to have a mission. And if we tighten up on these and have clear goals, if we look at all of these, and yes, let's add the people one in because that's really important. We develop the habits and attitudes that are necessary. We can actually be calmer in the storm. We can actually get to where we need to be. With so many businesses struggling, I'd like to think that there's at least something that you can do about that by looking at the variables in your business and looking at how you administer your business as a mission. The clients that I work with, the contacts that I've got, the conversations that I have with people based on this and some of the other things that I do in my coaching is amazing. And it's a great opportunity to get close to people. I had a client say to me the other day, Pete, I don't think you understand what you do. I said, really? Why? They said, you think you're running workshops and seminars, and I think you're actually creating a community. And I think that's part of it too. And I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. But gee, if we can create a community of people that we work with and interact in their lives, I think that's what we're supposed to do. I think that's the salt and light. That's the whole thing. In pulling this together, feel free to use this for yourself. Because it's part of my intellectual property, you can't use that without my permission. But if you want to, send me an email. We'll have my email details down the bottom here, so you can check that out. You've got my website details here as well. You can check that out. We run seminars here in Adelaide from time to time. We go on breakfast, and we're made available to any of you people looking at this who happen to be in Adelaide. You're welcome to come to one of our breakfasts or sessions free of charge. So that's just something nice. Give you an opportunity to get out of the house and out of the business and meet some other positive business people. So if that's of interest to you, email me or check my website for dates coming up. Where am I going in my business? Well, I'm enjoying it. I don't want to stop. I'm enjoying working with people, particularly through these difficult days. But I'm going to, pardon me, I'm going to franchise this. So moving ahead, pretty much from now, I'm looking for people who've been in business or have been in sales before, who've got a heart to have conversations with individuals in business around some of these things. So if that has some attraction for you, if that hits a chord with you, please send me an email and we can catch up and have a coffee and a chat or do a Zoom. I think we're all doing a few Zooms at the moment. But thank you for your time. I trust you've got something out of that. If there are any questions, queries, criticisms, condemnation, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. But thank you so much for joining us today.